Welcome to another exciting edition of American Warrior Radio, the place to be for news, notes, interviews, and current events for all issues military and veteran related. If you or someone you know has ever worn the uniform of the U.S. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, or National Guard or Reserves, you've come to the right place. American Warrior Radio, right here on the Talk to Me station, AM 1300 WMEL, and online worldwide at 1300WMEL.com, sponsored by AVET Project. Folks, this program is all about supporting our troops and their families, both past and present. So please get comfortable, grab a cup of iced tea, a cup of coffee, or a glass of iced tea, whatever kind of beverage, but also grab a pen and paper, because Glenn and I and our guest are always bringing you important information that you can use and share with others. With that said, let's roll down the runway and get this show off the ground. You all know me. I'm Garen Cohn, an Air Force veteran, retired legal advocate for veterans, and founder of AVET Project. But you also know that I never fly through the airwaves alone.
Good morning, I'm Glenn McGuffey. I'm retired Air Force and retired as the former manager of the Brevard County Veteran Services team for 22 plus years, where it was my honor to help Brevard's veterans and their families achieve the VA benefits earned by the veterans' service to our great nation. As usual, we've got a wonderful show for you today, and I know that my co-host over here has got some announcements to make initially here, and then we have a very special guest to talk to you about some free, our favorite word.
Oh yeah, free.
Law information coming up free. So let's get going, Garen.
You know, I want to remind everybody, first of all, if you want to find out more about what AVET Project is doing in this community, and let me share with you, we do a lot, and we're all volunteers. Nobody's getting a paycheck, but when we get letters from the just now change of command, Captain Passarelli from the United States Coast Guard, he just changed his command, turned his ship, the Coast Guard Cutter Confidence, over to a new commander. Well, he sent AVET Project. I'm telling you, it was a letter of all letters, and it's up there on AVET Project's website as well as our Facebook page and the other social media platforms. Check it out. It'll give you a clue from his eyes what AVET Project has meant to him and his crew over these last few years. And Glenn, it was really a touching letter.
That was an outstanding letter, and it says in words written down the same thing I keep telling you over the air. AVET is the #1 veterans service organization, not for profit. As Garen said, nobody gets a paycheck, and they do more in Brevard County than any other veterans organization around.
And we do it all for free. That's our magic word,
free.
Right, Glenn? Free. Nothing AVET Project ever does costs the recipient, whether it's a military member, a veteran, or a family member thereof, a dime. We do it for free, and that's why we need your help. Okay, I don't often make an appeal for donations, but listen, folks, AVET Project's premier program, PRNR, Project Recuperation and Reintegration. It's a retreat-based program for returning combat vets. We've got them coming up in October, and we've got to get them funded. Whether you can give $1, $5, $50, or $500, doesn't matter. Please give and give generously. Go to avetproject.org, avetproject.org, and click on the PayPal button. But while you're there, lower left-hand corner, click on the Facebook icon, because it's going to take you to Facebook. Even if you're not a member, you can still view all the incredible things we do. Like, Glenn, we just had a card donated from Ken Roden, a local attorney in town, and provided that in turn to a needy veteran. And he was crying as we're handing over the keys.
Oh, wow. And as all of you can well imagine, in this day and age, you got to have transportation to get around, to have a job, to get there and get back. To do anything, you got to have transportation, so that's absolutely marvelous.
And the car did need some repairs, and it still needs a few things done. So if you want to earmark your donation specific to that, just put car in the PayPal memo button. Whether, like I said, if it's $1, $50, or whatever you can afford, folks, really appreciate it, because it helps us help them. Now, I also have to mention, when you go to avetproject.org, right there on the home page, you can't miss it, you're going to see a news release from Congressman Bill Posey. It is, I'll read the title, House passes Posey legislation to support deployed troops. It is the Deployed Troops Support Act of 2014. We did this in 2013, got it passed through the House. I had been working on it, AVET project, been working on this since 2010. But we got it through the House. It got pulled from the final National Defense Authorization Act when it got to the Senate. That can't happen again this time. All right, so what can they do, Glenn?
Well, you need to contact your senators because the House is clear. We're clean and green through the House. You need to contact your senators. One of them's Bill Nelson, and you can contact him. I'm going to give you the free numbers.
Free.
1-888-671-4091. That's 888-671-4091. And of course, our other senator is
I forget his name. What is it?
Yeah, I know. That's why you handed this to me. Marco Rubio, and his phone is 1-866-630-7106. Again, write this down: 866-630-7106, and tell them you want them to support the Deployed Troops Support Act. Well, that's redundant, but they'll get the message.
Exactly. They need to, these senators need to take that on as a project and say, you know what, we're going to make sure that the Deployed Troops Support Act, which allows nonprofits like AVET Project and others to ship care packages and even things like refrigerators, whatever the troops need, wherever they're deployed, not necessarily in a combat theater, wherever they're deployed, if there's space available on taxpayer-funded military transports, all those cargo planes, if there's space available through the Denton program and USAID, it's a State Department program, they handle all the logistics. We just have to get them the goods. They have to be needed by the troops, and they deliver them to the troops. Right now, you can do that for the Afghan nationals. You can do it for children living in Zimbabwe. If you're a church or a nonprofit, it's there, it's open, bring on the stuff. You cannot, under the current law, Title 10, Section 402, you are prohibited from using the Denton program to support our troops. If that doesn't get you fired up, nothing will. So you tell your senators, your United States senators, in our case, it's Bill Nelson and Marco Rubio. Glenn gave you the numbers. If you didn't get them, you can go to avetproject.org or look them up on Google. You tell them to support the Deployed Troops Support Act. Make sure it goes through this year. And folks, we know we have listeners all over the country and abroad. So if you're in Minnesota, or maybe you're in Texas or Nebraska, maybe you're in Maine, I don't care where you're listening. We know you're out there because we hear from you. I want you to do the same. You have to. There's only 2 senators per state, right, Glenn?
That's why we have, 100 total.
So, how difficult can it be to Google your U.S. senator, wherever you're living, whether you're in California, who knows, wherever you're at, Oregon, look them up and make a phone call. That's 2 phone calls, and you know what? If these guys and gals that represent us in the Senate start hearing, if we start making some noise and they start hearing from us, this is going to go through.
Exactly, and like Garen passionately said, and I'll passionately foot stomp it, vote for it. Let's not let the Senate get away with just sort of pulling that off and not even really giving it the proper consideration. I mean, it's got an overwhelming majority of the House has voted for this.
Exactly. Now next, I know we're bringing a lot to you, and I can't wait to get to our guest. You're all familiar with her. I'll introduce her in a moment. But the VRC, the Veterans Resource Committee from the Melbourne Chamber, has their first annual Stick Marsh Veterans Bass Challenge. It's coming up on Saturday, September 6th, so really, you don't have much time, okay? If you're interested in getting involved with that, whether you're a boat captain or you're a veteran, a disabled vet that wants to go fishing for free, and keep in mind, Bass Pro Shops is going to be delivering, I'm going to ask our producer, what is it, fishing rod and tackle the morning of. You're going to have a lunch. I think you get breakfast, a lunch, and then there's an awards dinner. This is a really nice thing that the VRC, Veterans Resource Committee, is putting together. And if you're interested, you got to get involved. And all you mayors and city councilmen and all you elected politicos, I'm being, whatever. If you're an elected politician here in Brevard County, are you hearing me? Get involved. The VRC is asking for our political officials to get involved because we need 1 per boat. and we have about 20 some boats. We're hoping to grow that. We're hoping to grow that up to 25 or something. But come on, guys and gals, I know you're out there. It's free for you too. I'm going to give you the contact name and number. It's Justin, wonderful young man working for the Melbourne Chamber and the VRC, Justin Anderson. Here's the number you can reach him at, 321-724-5400, extension 233. You just ask for Justin, 724-5400 at the Melbourne Regional Chamber. Okay, if you are a veteran that wants to go, disabled vet, that wants to go fishing for free, or you're a boat captain, or you're a political official, get involved with that. One more time, the number is 724-5400. Real quick, Glenn, what's it mean to be a disabled vet?
What's it mean to be a
Yeah,
disabled
because you got to be a
vet?
disabled vet for this particular Stick Marsh Bass Challenge.
Oh, okay. Well, it means that you have sustained permanent injuries anywhere from 0% to 100% and serviced our country protecting our freedoms.
There you go. So if you qualify, if you got a VA rating,
Right.
that's it. If you have a disability percentage,
Even zero.
even zero, that's why people say, yeah, but it's only 0%. I'm not service connected. Oh yeah, you are. Here's a perfect example of how that actually pays dividends.
Yep, exactly. And it looked like a wonderful thing, and I know the veterans are going to show up, so come on now. All you political leaders out there, we need one per boat.
Yep, 724-5400, Justin Anderson, get involved. All right, so we've done a little house cleaning with some things that needed to be said, Glenn. Now, in studio with us, because I'm really excited, we always are so happy to have Britta Hawkins from Telfer, Faraday, Anderson and Hawkins, the law firm up in Titusville. Hi, welcome
Hi.
back to American Warrior Radio.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a while.
Yes, I know.
Now, we're having you back here. It's a beautiful Saturday, but something's happening real soon. Tell us about Space Coast Community Law School.
Well, the Space Coast Community Law School has crept up on us, and it's now on Thursday, this coming Thursday. We are starting up our classes. Now, we're doing things a little bit different this year. So generally, we hold the seminars, the free legal seminars that are...
What was that magic word again?
The free.
That's right,
That's
free.
right, free.
The free legal seminars are being held in Vieira and in Titusville.
That's a
because-
change.
Yes, we have held them in Vieira for the last 5 years, solid 5 years, and now we're starting our 6th year, and we're branching out and reaching out to the northern part of our county.
Britta, that's phenomenal. So this is the 6th year now, and you've been involved with this from the start. Am I right?
Yep, I'm the founder.
Well, congratulations. I mean, that shows success right there. And the fact that this is good information that basically every citizen should apprise them of. And we're talking about the issues and the number of seminars that you're offering. But this is the 6th year. What kind of response have you gotten from the legal community about this?
One thing that I can tell you is I have no problems finding speakers. And I am quite careful with who I choose, and usually I make a phone call and the attorney I'm calling will accept the taking of the seminar. Now the speakers all have to submit a outline to me, which I then make copies of, and each participant gets a copy of the outline, so they have something to refer back to when they go home and they think about the seminar or maybe come upon an issue, and then they can go back to what they have learned at the seminars.
And you mentioned that you provide them an outline. When they come, let's say it's a first-time attendee to SCCLS, that's the website, right?
Yes,
SCCLS.com, SpaceCoastCommunityLawSchool.com. They're a first-time attendee. What do they get when they walk through the door?
Well, the first-time attendees get a ring binder with a schedule with the nights or the topic of the night, and then also a pen and paper so they can take notes. So all they need to do is show up, and we will provide them with everything they need. And the seminars are held from 6 to 8 in the evening, and they will start September 4th. Now, there is one other change, and I know the Vieira participants may not be too happy about that. I am sorry. But we are holding, since this is quite taxing on myself, Kristen Smith Rodriguez, who is another attorney in our firm, family law attorney. She's helping me, and my assistant, Elizabeth Kling. This is very time involving. And so the three of us have decided we're going to shrink the Viera classes down to 6 of this year, so September 4th through October 9th, and then add 3 seminars in Titusville on a Wednesday, on Wednesdays.
Glenn, that's awesome for the guys and gals that live closer to North County.
Yeah, and I know especially older folks like me don't like to drive at night, so that's really awesome for them, and I think that's a great move.
Yeah, we have had several people from Titusville actually travel down to our Viera seminars and sometimes have time, come in late because it is some travel distance, and so we're trying it out and see what the community does. If we have enough participants, then we will continue in Titusville. We may expand in Titusville. We may expand Viera again to 8 seminars like we've had in the past. We're just trying to see how it works.
Okay, and you mentioned the Titusville seminars are going to be on a Wednesday, not a Thursday, right?
Correct. Yes, it's the same people. We can only be in one place at a time.
Exactly. So, and we'll get to the topics here in a minute because they vary widely, but they're always interesting. And for all you folks out there in American Warrior Radio Land and others that are listening to the fine programming on AM 1300 WMEL every day, if you have not gone to one of these free legal seminars, you're really missing the boat. Because Glenn, when we're out and about and we do a lot of events together, we hear all kinds of folks asking us legal questions, particularly about VA issues.
Right.
But when you think about it, pretty much the topics we're going to discuss, and I'll let you start down that road, they concern basically every citizen.
Well, exactly, and here's an opportunity, just like listening to us gives you the opportunity to get the right information about VA benefits and how to file a claim and hopefully be successful. Here's an opportunity to get from experts information about the law that can affect you at some time during your life, and you won't be getting information off of watching Law and Order on TV or something like that.
But you attorneys must laugh at some of the stuff you see on TV.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
It is that, but it's not always correct. With that, well, let me ask you, Britta, the first one's just right around the corner on the 4th of September.
Yep, later this week.
In the courthouse out in Viera. What's that going to be about?
Well, we have 2 sets of laws, federalism here in the United States. So there's state laws and federal laws and how they interact, and we ought to be aware of how they interact, because sometimes state legislatures or the federal, they may each one overreach. And we ought to, as the citizens, know when there is an overreach and how they work together, how one enables the other to create laws and vice versa. So this is a very important topic. We talked about that probably a couple years ago.
Yeah, and that's I think that should be well attended, because there's some things actually going on in society today that those are players between the interaction between state and federal constitution.
Good point, Glenn.
Absolutely.
So who's the gentleman that's giving the seminar? Who's this? What's a general magistrate?
That functions as almost like a judge. He makes a recommendation to the judge. So he hears the case, makes a recommendation, and then the judge can base his order on the general magistrate's recommendation.
And in this case, it's General Magistrate Kurt Erlenbach.
Yes.
And he's a good guy?
He's excellent. He's excellent.
Outstanding.
He's been in that position for quite some time. He was a local lawyer before, so he's excellent.
Outstanding. And folks, we have with us on American Warrior Radio, Britta Hawkins from Space Coast Community Law School. This is her 6th year now, and phenomenal success, and we'll talk about that in a moment. we're running out of time in this segment of American Warrior Radio, but don't worry, people. You have just enough time during the break to go refresh your drink, whether it's a hot cup of coffee. I can't imagine having a hot cup of coffee today.
No, I
It's
can't
hot.
imagine that either.
So go get some more ice cubes in your iced tea and come right back to American Warrior Radio, right here on the big AM 1300 WMEL, the Talk to Me station. Honestly, folks, don't go anywhere. We're bringing you more good information, and what's it cost again?
It's free.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this brief pause.